Hey, it's Molly Mahoney, and you are listening to the Headsmack Podcast.
You are listening to conversations with Misfits, Mavericks, and Trailblazers.
Hey, welcome to the Headsmack Podcast. My name is Paul Povolni, and I'm excited to have another Misfit with me. I have Molly Mahoney with me, and she is a digital marketing strategist, keynote speaker, and former NYC performer. I definitely want to hear about that, who helps entrepreneurs blend AI-powered marketing with authentic human connection, with viral videos hitting over 39 million views and features in Forbes and Inc. She's known for turning complex tech into simple, profitable strategies. She launched a business, The Prepared Performer, in 2013 and has since helped thousands of people to show up more powerfully, turning their message into a revenue-generating movement. In 2021, Molly launched the world's first AI-focused content membership 2 years before ChatGPT hit the scene. And she's the author of Choose Confidence, Finding My Awesome, and the new AI playbook, AI-ify. Your business, she believes your weird is your superpower, and that the more fun you have, the more money you make. Molly, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm so good. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for this chat, and I'm excited to learn more about you, learn more about the NYC performer and everything else that is going on or has gone on in your life. And usually the way I like to start this is just learn a little bit more about you, a little bit more about your origin story. And so tell me a little bit about Molly Mahoney.
Yes, I was listening to some of your other episodes, and I was like, how far back are we going to go? But I won't go too far back. So after graduating with a degree in theater and dance, I moved to New York. I did cruise ships. I was a singer and dancer in Vegas. I literally performed all over the world. And I ended up booking the national tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the musical, which was so fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to tour the world with the flying car. I got to meet Richard Sherman of the Sherman Brothers, who wrote all of our childhoods from Mary Poppins to
Wow.
Bang Bang, all of that. Yeah, it was just awesome. I got to do a movie with Dick Van Dyke. I cried the whole way home because it was like the best day of my life.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah, that would be. So how did you get into theater? Like, where does that come from? Was somebody in your family into that, or were you just the outgoing kid?
I mean, my mom, like did Sound of Music in high school and like sang in choir and stuff, but she wasn't that wasn't like what she did. And my grandma played piano, and we had a lot of music in our family. I went with my aunt to Disneyland when I was 16 and discovered this weird swing dancing community. She was going for a jazz class she was taking on like jazz history. So yeah, I started at this place called the Music Room School of Performing Arts when I was 8 years old, and
Oh wow,
became musical theater.
found your love, yeah.
Yeah, and my parents were so supportive with it, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you transition from theater to what you're doing now? That's quite a big move, or maybe it's not a big move, but how did that transition happen?
Yeah, it was a big move. So I met my husband. He's a bass player, and we met doing shows at this theater called the Fireside Dinner Theater in Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
And we decided after Chitty to move back to California where I grew up. And I ended up having 10 different jobs at the same time, which
Wow.
is insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I was teaching dance, singing, directing musical theater for kids. I ran my dad's homeowners association, like all of the back end of that. And I ended up joining the board of an arts foundation, and they needed someone to help manage their website. And so I was the youngest person on the board, and they were like, Molly, we're teaching you.
You're the youngest, so we just assume you get it. Yeah.
Which was great. I learned WordPress. And around that same time, I decided that I wanted to really focus on my vocal coaching business. So, I mean, I had a knitting and crocheting
Wow.
handmade accessory thing that I was doing. I was teaching knitting and crocheting at a yarn store, like really weird thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Very entrepreneurial, I suppose. My dad has an amazing tree trimming business that he has the coolest story. And so I followed in my dad's footsteps in the idea of having the drive and, wanting to create my own magic. So yeah, so I ended up launching a company called The Prepared Performer, which was my company's name now, but it was all about teaching singing lessons. And so I copied everything that Pat Flynn did I had around the same time reached out to my dad and put together a huge proposal to run their social media at the tree trimming business.
Wow.
And I went to social media marketing world with Mike Stelzner and learned about this whole world of social media, really dug into Pat Flynn at the time. And I did everything that he said to do. And up until last year, I was still the #1 search result for tap dance terminology because my SEO on that website was so good. It was like dangerously good. I finally took it down because it was just causing me problems. I would be getting like thousands of hits for tap dance searches every day, which is not what I'm doing. So
Wow.
yeah.
So how do you get?
Yeah, in 2016, Facebook Live came out, and I decided to switch everything. Rather than teaching performers how to have a business, I started teaching business owners how to perform, and it was such a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
So
you're
I
able
launched
to
a
keep the
program called
name.
Camera Confidence, and it totally took off. And then anytime there's been a new technology that's been added in, like messenger bots were huge for us. We pivoted completely and launched a full done-for-you agency in messenger automation. ManyChat hired me to speak on their behalf, which was super awesome. So I was going to like Digital Marketer and speaking about ManyChat, but also speaking about my business, but kind of as a case study. So it really allowed me to combine my expertise as a speaker and as a performer and a communicator with all of the digital marketing stuff that I loved. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing how it all kind of wove together. So it really wasn't as huge of a jump because you kind of weaved some of the performance, attention getting, reaching people, communicating with people, connecting with people, and transition that into an online space. And so what was the first business that you transitioned to that you kind of felt, man, this is working, this is successful, I think this is going somewhere?
Yeah. So right before launching our Camera Confidence program, I tried to launch a course called Prepared Performer Profits to teach mainly musical theater performers how to build a side business while they were auditioning and working backstage and all of this, because having this online business while I was pursuing what I loved was such a gift to me. And I was like, everyone needs to know this. I said the tagline was the cure for the starving artist syndrome. Turns out if you call someone a starving artist, they probably aren't going to pay you.
Yeah, interesting.
So that launch failed miserably. And sometimes I get artists who get upset when I tell that story because they're like, how could you call us starving artists? And I'm like, no. It's because I believe that we can have so much more.
Right.
But it's really important to be clear in your messaging with how you're talking to people.
Right.
So in that moment of this huge course launch failure, I was actually in New York with friends seeing the original cast of Hamilton on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And I remember being in this coffee shop and I was like, what am I going to do? Because it had not worked at all. And so I made a giant list of everything that I could teach people. And then I made a giant list of everything that I was connected to in terms of relationships, communities, like what other audiences could I serve? And then, and this is the part I think people don't talk about, I made a giant list of where the current opportunities were.
Wow.
And Facebook Live had just come out. And so it was like, I'm going to see if this works. And I launched a program for $47 in an empty Facebook group. I still can't believe this whole thing worked because I had a spreadsheet. I planned out 30 bite-sized trainings. I then sold, I'd say we had 30 people join this thing for $47. And I went live every day for 30 days inside this Facebook group teaching something different. And it was a mix between what I had learned building my vocal coaching business in the world of digital marketing, and then my background in theater, helping people to connect on camera and, all that kind of stuff. And by the end of the first month, people had amazing results. They were more confident. They were showing up. They were connecting. They were bringing in leads. So I raised the price to $97, did it again, all live.
Wow.
Then the third month, I raised it to $197. And halfway through that month, I was like, why am I still doing this live? This is insane.
Yeah.
So
who are you attracting into that?
Mainly business owners and entrepreneurs. So I was in the eWomen network. I don't know if you know that organization.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to the people that I knew. So eWomen network, I also had a lot of people in direct sales at the time, which is not really our demographic now, but I had a few really good friends who sold LuLaRoe, for example. Did you know that
No,
company?
no.
It's like a clothing line that I was obsessed with at the time. So I would go and do these partner webinars, for lack of a better term, where I would teach in someone else's group. Like I would go into a doTERRA group and teach this, and then they would buy this program. By the time we were done, the program sold for $5,000.
Wow. Wow.
And the people who got it for 47 still got access to everything. So that sell it first founding member strategy is something we still use today.
That's amazing. One of the things there that it seems that you also learned was how people identify themselves is very different how we might talk about them. And that's very important to understand. And so you were talking about starving artists, and they didn't identify themselves as starving artists. And so that was kind of a lesson for you, right?
Yeah, it's also in terms of, I call it the pyramid of awareness. I know there's probably a different term in the world of digital marketing, but when you look at people who are completely unaware, problem aware, solution aware, most of the people that I was trying to connect with at the time were not even problem aware. The problem that they thought they had was they needed to book another show or another gig, you know, and I had a huge like solution, which was not the solution they were looking for. And so that is why we became completely obsessed with the idea of instilling the right buying beliefs.
Yeah.
And so now everything we do is based around this strategy called the tree of beliefs, where you instill the proper buying beliefs before you make an offer so that people are really ready for the offer.
So what are some of those? So, for those that are listening and they're like, well, I think I might be using the wrong language and trying to reach my audience. What are some of those things that you talk to people about?
Yeah. So the ideal client avatar is such a juicy, deep thing that people skip.
Yeah.
And they, I serve, at one point I was asking someone who they support and they said, everyone with skin. It's like, there's a great way to get no referrals and get no one to raise their hand. Even when you asked who did we serve at that time in the community, like the first thing that came to mind was this eWomen group. And when I say the eWomen network, I know all of these things about the people in that community. It's not the same as saying like female entrepreneurs. When I say LuLaRoe consultants, that is much more specific than it is to say, all direct sales professionals or whatever. When I say now we serve more agency owners, that could mean a million different things because it could be insurance agencies, real estate agencies, and, marketing agencies. And I think we gloss over it, but going really deep into that ideal client avatar. And you know how everybody talks about pain points?
Yeah.
I think the pain points are important. And sometimes I think that the tickle points are even more important.
Okay, so talk about that. I love that. I haven't heard the tickle points.
So
that's good.
Perfect example. And this does come back to that awareness of the unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, you aware, right? Like brand aware. The unaware phase, that's where you're going to have more potential for virality. So we had a video that hit a reach, one 13-second video hit a reach of 39 million. Facebook paid me $30,000 for it. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again. Because it was so stressful to have that many people. First of all, they were all fighting underneath this video because if you want, I can tell you what the video was, but it was like such a tax on my adrenaline and my like nervous system that I realized I am not cut out for that. Like that is not
not that amount of attention. Yeah. What was the video about? So maybe it's a warning for somebody else.
Yeah. So, and I think it's sexy to think like, oh, I reached all these people, but if it's not the right people, does it even matter?
Yeah.
So with the ideal client avatar, if we look at the unaware phase, we can look at unaware with people who maybe don't know our products exist. But if we look in the unaware phase and we find something that we know only our people would think is funny, it's amazing. So have you ever seen the logo for Slack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you picture it in your head?
Yeah.
Okay. If you've never seen the logo for Slack and you're watching or listening to this podcast, it kind of looks like a pound sign. That's like what it used to look like, but they
Right.
changed it. And so go look at it. Just go look at it. So
Yeah.
have you ever seen the meme about the Slack logo?
No. Or maybe I have,
Okay.
but it's been a while.
I saw this meme and I almost fell out of my chair because I thought it was so funny. And what it says is, I'm sorry, I can't hold it in any longer. The Slack logo looks like 4 ducks sniffing each other's butts. And if you look at it, it really does look like 4 ducks all sniffing each other's butts. But if you don't use Slack, then you wouldn't really think it was as funny.
Right.
And I know that my ideal client is using Slack or is like familiar with Slack.
Yeah.
So I went into the Jasper Facebook group when this is how we really got into AI was through Jasper, which was called Jarvis and called Conversion AI before that. And the Facebook group, were you involved in that Facebook group back in the day?
No.
Okay. It was the greatest ever. And we did so well as an affiliate with them. And I give so much credit to everything that community gave me. And Jasper is now my ex-boyfriend because we don't use it anymore, but I'm really grateful for what it gave me back then.
Thankful for the learning experience. Yeah.
Yeah. But I posted in there this meme of Slack, the Slack logo thing. And I credited the person that had posted it. I just like screenshot it. Was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I had 300 likes on that post and all kinds of comments. But here's the magic that people don't realize. That's more of an unaware kind of thing because it's not specifically about the problem that I'm solving or the solution that I'm giving them. But when they come to my profile and they click on my face because I shared this joke, my whole Facebook profile is optimized to take them through all of these different phases of awareness to get them to opt in for something and buy something.
Nice. Well, I think
so that like connecting as a human being can be really helpful. It's also optimized to push the wrong people away, which I think people don't think about as often.
And I do want to talk about that, but what's interesting there, and I think is a big learning for somebody is, it's good to get attention, but once you have attention, you need to know what to do with it. You need to have a plan of what to do with it. And I think a lot of people, they post, they try and get attention, but once they get attention, it's like being in a stadium and saying, "Hey, everybody, look at me," and everybody turns around and looks at you, and then you're like,
Okay.
I don't have anything else but that to get your attention. And so I think that was probably a big learning experience for yourself, or maybe it was a confirmation of what you were doing right.
15-second video, what we ended up doing is we did an offer about how I did it.
Yeah.
I did a webinar about how I did it. We did $130,000 in sales around that 13-second video.
Wow.
So I like to say that what you do in your content or what you do in your video isn't as important as what you do around it, which is exactly what you're talking about. And I think most people miss that.
Right. And so you'd also mentioned that you turned away those that weren't interested. How did that happen?
Yeah. So this video that I did that hit 39 million, it was actually, I just looked through my phone to find weird videos because I knew Facebook was paying for Reels.
Yeah.
And then I put a good marketing hook on it. So it was a video of a bathtub where I had put a bath bomb in it and there were bugs in the bath bomb.
Oh, yuck. Gross.
So stupid. So I wrote on the top of it, I got in the bath and then saw this ... with giant like eyeball emojis.
Oh my goodness.
And then the trending sound that I used was that, oh no, no.
Yes.
And then the caption was, I'm never taking a bath again.
Oh my goodness, a bug bomb.
And then to make it even worse, I was using very ASMR styled speaking on it. So I was like, I was just about to get in the bath and I used this awesome bath bomb. And I was like, oh, there's lavender. No, they're flipping termites. So that's what I said in the video. And so then every bug expert on the planet decided to argue about whether or not they were termites or something else.
That's funny. Yeah.
But with that, out of the 39 million, we gained 5,000 followers.
Wow.
So that's a huge drop off. But it's because the reach was to people that were not actually my ideal people. So when people then came to my profile, first of all, they're going to see it's about marketing and business. If they're not interested in that, they're going to go away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then as you come down further, I am very clear about my personal brand being a little more fun, a little more sparkly. Like we do weird things, like we talk about the banana phone, and I have like a diamond banana that I call in future gratitudes on.
For those that are listening, she has a banana that looks like a disco ball, and it's awesome. And the microphone is bedazzled.
All of my clients, do I have one of my golden ones? No, but I give my clients golden bananas, and then they use it as their future gratitude tool. So it's a way to call in your future success. And some people love it, but some people get really mad about it. And the fact that people get mad about the silly things that I do is wild to me.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's the reason a lot of people don't show up as their true, authentic self, because they're concerned about the trolls.
Yeah.
And the trolls are our best friends.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, with celebrities that look at celebrities and it's like, oh, it must be awesome to be a celebrity, and it must be awesome to be famous, must be awesome to have all this attention. But with that attention doesn't just come all the fans. Like, it comes with the trolls. It comes with the people that will just post stuff to hate on you, whether it's legit or not. And most of the time it isn't. I've had that happen I'm not near as big out there, but many times I've had a post go out there and get a lot of attention. There are just people that get on there and just hate. And it's like, who are you? You don't even know me, but you can take that personally.
I heard the funniest story last night about this. I'm really involved right now with, I'm producing actually a Broadway show. You know the movie Beaches?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like coming back to my roots.
Awesome.
So the movie Beaches was turned into a musical, and it's opening on Broadway later this month, which is just like so exciting.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's been really, really amazing to be a part of the whole thing. And I'm just like, the show is amazing. I'm so excited about it. And to be able to give back with my marketing knowledge, and to give back, like I'm investing into it, which I'm excited about as well. And just like be there, a part of the whole thing. It's been awesome. So I was talking to a friend last night, and he said that this director that he knows was doing a totally different show. And there was someone who was like leaving negative comments, and everybody in the cast was like, man, who is this? Whatever the guy's name was, Eric, blah, 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 or whatever. Who is this guy? Like, why is he leaving all these negative comments? And they found out later that it was like a 10-year-old in the show who had a troll account.
Oh, no.
It was somebody they actually knew who was just being a jerk. Like,
wow.
You never know who's on the other side of these things. And I like to lean into the fact that I think they have their own trauma they're dealing with. So if we can love on our trolls, the better.
Yeah. Love on them, or just ignore them and don't let it get to you. Because there are people that just want to kind of, stir things up, and that just have nothing better to do than just be negative about people that are strangers to them. So getting back to how you converted the attention into revenue and leads and things like that. You mentioned that your profile was a funnel to kind of have them go in the direction that you wanted them to go to. And you shared a few things. Your content is very obvious what it is. What are some other things that people can do once they have attention to change that into leads?
Yeah. So I can I've never really done this on a podcast before, but I can walk through like from top to bottom some of the things that I think are really valuable.
Oh, absolutely.
With that.
Let's go there.
So for me, my personal Facebook profile is still the best way for me to build bring in leads and bring in sales. The strategies that I use in my personal Facebook work really well on LinkedIn as well. If you're doing something like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, it's a slightly different strategy, but I'm going to talk about the Facebook one. So we always start by connecting as a human first. And so if your cover photo on your personal profile is very hardcore businessy, and you're connecting in a Facebook group with someone, when they come to your profile, if it's like, go buy my thing in your cover photo, I find that to be a turnoff for people. So I love the top of my Facebook profile to be like family, or I have this awesome photo of our clients at Disneyland. We take our clients to Disneyland twice a year, which is
nice.
The best.
Yes.
And so I have this photo of 45 of us at Disneyland earlier. Last year we did 45 people, which was crazy. And so that's my cover photo. It's establishing my values. It could be like a sunset, or it could be traveling, but it's something that really establishes your values. That ties into the why me belief.
Yeah.
So where your ideal client, like what do they really desire? What do they really dream about? Connect to that energy in your profile picture.
Nice.
Then from there, did you know that you can change your name on your Facebook with a nickname?
Yes. I've changed mine. Yeah.
What's your nickname?
The brand mentor.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what this is, if you don't know how to do this, if you go into the backside of your profile, there's a bunch of nicknames that you can add. And if you add nicknames that are actually SEO terms, you can add up to 30 nicknames on the backside of your Facebook profile.
Oh, wow.
And then when people type in those terms, your name is more likely to show up. I don't know why Facebook makes that a thing, but it's awesome.
Yeah. There's times when I type in certain words that, people are popping up and I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted, but they pop up.
So when you have the one that you know is like the best for you, you select it as your top nickname, and then it shows up with parentheses next to it, which I'm sure is how yours is with the brand mentor, right?
Right.
So if somebody types in brand, there's a chance that may come up. So I would even play with maybe not having the brand mentor, because I don't know if they're searching the word the, I'm going to try it now.
Right.
But so having that, it makes it so that your name comes up and is associated with that search term, which I just think is so awesome. From there, in your intro, oftentimes people don't realize you can have a clickable link in your intro, in your bio on Facebook. So having some sort of very clear messaging, and it has to be short, but something that really establishes who you serve, how you serve them, and like the mechanism that you use. So I think mine says, "You're weird plus AI equals content magic," or something like that. And then having a link to some sort of free gift right up there in your bio can be really helpful. And then from there, there's all kinds of things that we do with a pinned post and the content that we're creating, and using, I create separate business pages. We do this on LinkedIn too, that are more like business cards. So our content membership is called Camera Confidence. Or not Camera Confidence. Oh my gosh, I talked about it too much today. We don't even have that program anymore. It's called the Content Club. It's too early. Okay, the AI Content Club. And I don't have content that I put out about that, but I do have a Facebook page that's more like creating a landing page on Facebook. And so it creates a little clickable link that people can go to that takes them to that Facebook page where they can learn more about the program.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that before. That's pretty cool. You can do it on
Instagram too. So then in your bio, like if you have a book or obviously you have a podcast, you can do the @ symbol in your Instagram bio, and then it can go to a 9-grid landing page for your book or for your podcast.
Nice. Love that. That's a lot of good stuff. Hopefully people are taking notes on that. That's so good. Now, when did you mentioned that you jumped into talking about AI before ChatGPT hit the scene. So talk about AI. You're in some circles, you're known as the queen of AI. And so let's talk about that. How did that transition happen? And what was some of the writing on the wall that you saw that kind of led you in that direction?
Yeah. So I've just had this really unique knack for finding new tech capabilities, having loads of fun with it, and humanizing it, and then bringing it to other people in a way that makes it feel easy for them. So with ManyChat, with messenger bots, they named us one of the top 5 chatbots because our chatbot had fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Human elements. And so when I was first introduced to what's now known as Jasper, I don't know if you know Jamie O'Connor Harmon. She introduced me to it, and I was like, this is magic. This is the coolest thing I've actually ever seen.
Yeah.
And I had to really convince people that it was a good idea to use these AI tools back then.
Yeah.
But I just started doing content about it. And one of the things that I always do when I find a tool that I really love like this is I reach out to the founder or to the head of the company right away. And I offer to do a video with them, to have them on an interview, which you would be surprised how many people don't do that, either because of fear or I don't know what. With MindPal, I had a support question. Their support team wrote me back. I was like, thank you so much for for the answer. That's super helpful. Also, I'd love to have you on to do an interview for my community. Would you want to do that? They always say yes because they're wanting more visibility.
Exposure, yeah.
And then for our community, it's a huge gift to be able to show them look, we have the actual people who are building these tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the side effect of that, if you have experience as a speaker and you know how to present in a way that actually drives engagement and community, then they ask you to do trainings for their community.
Wow.
And so that is like what has ended up happening over the years. And so with Jasper, I ended up doing a lot of trainings for their community as well. And by simply giving to those communities, people start to see the value that you provide, and it ups your authority, it ups your visibility, and it ups people's trust in the systems that you have. So we launched the Content Club as a gift, like a bonus for our affiliates when we first did this, because people would sign up for Jasper, but then if they didn't know how to use it, then they would leave. And I wanted to keep getting their affiliate commission. So I was like, I will train you on how to do this as long as you are a current Jasper subscriber.
Yeah.
Now, eventually they changed their affiliate program and it stopped being lifetime payouts on it. So we had to change it because then everybody was just getting it for free. But when ChatGPT came out, it was like, holy smokes, a complete game changer. So I ended up going back and changing our whole program. And because of the visibility of ChatGPT, all of a sudden, everything I had laid groundwork wise for AI and business elevated me to a place that was like, oh, first of all, there are way more men that we see in the space. And so I was like the token female to be on these stages, which is silly, but also I'm like, whatever, I'm going to get my sparkly pants on that stage and I'm going to open the space for more women. But it was just so, we were positioned so well because I had jumped in early.
Now you talked about you had made things fun. You had made them a little different. What were some of the things that you did to do that?
Well, the name of the program back then was not called the Content Club. It was called Dancing with Jarvis. So my whole point was, if you put junk in, you get junk out, right? Like we all know that with AI now. But what I would see happen is people would use AI, they would not like the response, and then they'd just go, and they'd close their window. They'd log out.
Yeah, this is
dumb.
And
my point was that you have to dance with the AI. Like, it's going to give you a little bit, and then maybe you got to give it a little shimmy to get it to go in a different direction. And so even just the fact that it was called Dancing with Jarvis at the time, like that right away sets the tone for the fact that this is not normal.
Yeah.
Right? We do things in a way that is very different. And I've taken a lot of training on how to do NLP. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with NLP as a speaking?
I think so. Natural learning.
There's two different kinds of NLP in our space. One is natural language processing, which is not what I'm talking about. This is neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
And it is a way to play with people's brains to get them to pay attention.
Right.
And so even before I dug into the NLP, when I was teaching camera confidence, I have these 6 Ps of the prepared performer.
Do you mind sharing those?
5. What'd you say?
Do you mind sharing those?
Oh, yeah, totally. So I usually say it's 5, which is pace. So how fast or how slow you go.
Yeah.
Pitch, which is, are you talking in a voice that's like, oh my gosh, like up high? Or are you like, okay, I'm going to tell you whatever, like down low. Your power, which is how loud or how soft you're speaking, which has a big impact.
Yeah.
Like when you start to speak more quietly, like I did on that bathtub video, people lean in.
Right.
It's almost National ASMR Day, by the way. So there we go.
All right.
And then the percussiveness. So the percussiveness is like, are you mumbling or are you being very percussive?
Yeah.
I saw a really funny video the other day about people who over enunciate. I am definitely one who tends to sometimes, because of my musical theater training, get very percussive in things, which can lead to interesting things. So that was, we're at number 4, but that's the pace, the pitch, the power, the percussiveness, pauses. So how many pauses are you using when you speak?
Yeah.
And how effective that can be. And then the reason I usually lead with 5 is because there's a 6th, which is the pattern interrupt. So the pattern interrupt is a pattern interrupt when I tell you that it's the sixth one, because it's like, I told you it was going to be 5 and now I'm, making it 6.
Right.
And so pattern interrupt is a huge thing in the world of NLP, which, I used my sparkly banana phone, but I also have a crocheted banana phone that you may not be familiar with.
That's awesome.
So there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. And when I speak, I will often, if you go to my Instagram, I think it's on my main one. Molly Mahoney Official is my new Instagram. I think it's on there. There's a video of me speaking at Onyx and Gall's Eugentic AI event. And I do this often. So if you ever see me speak, pretend you don't know I'm going to say this. Okay, this is like a secret. I'll say, okay, so what Onyx doesn't know is that I actually snuck in here before the event started and I put a gift underneath your chair. And so everyone will start searching under their chair. Like, it's amazing. People get down on their knees, they're looking, and I'm like, oh, it's there. You may not see it because it's imaginary.
Oh man, that's mean.
And then everybody starts like, I'm like, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's a banana phone. And so I'm like, do you have it? Let me see. Show me your banana phone. So I get everybody to do this banana phone thing. And then I have this GIF on the screen that's me with the giant golden banana phone, which I'll get. So giant golden banana phone. So if you're not watching this video, if you're listening, I have a giant gold banana.
She has a variety of bananas.
They don't have them anymore. So this, and I have a GIF of me going like, call in your future gratitude, call it into the universe. That's what the GIF says. And so I'm like, I don't want you to just listen to this presentation and get all this jargon. I want you to make a decision. What's the result that you want to get out of this presentation?
Yeah.
Call that future gratitude in on your banana phone right now. It's like manifesting with fruit.
Nice.
You're welcome. You don't have this gift forever. So that is like very different than how most AI trainers are teaching.
I love it. Well, she does have a variety of bananas, and all of them serve a purpose, and that is so awesome. Well, and I think pattern disrupt is probably. You have a what?
The pineapple phone doesn't work as well.
I think the pattern disruption is probably one of the biggest things to do, because we are people of patterns. We love patterns. We look at the sky, we see images, we like order, and we look at for patterns and sequences and whatever, and things that we do because we try and kind of line them up in our mind and better understand them. And so pattern disrupt is like probably one of the most powerful ways to get attention or to redirect attention, right?
And I think in the world of AI, pattern interrupt is even more important, because as humans, like you said, we do love patterns, and AI has taken those patterns that we use as marketers, like problem, agitate, solve, those different structures that we use. And now it's made it white noise. So those things that we used to use as a pattern interrupt, like, it's not this, it's that. The thing no one will tell you is all of those things are now so inundated in the marketing copy that's coming out through AI tools that we have to do a lot to be a human being to break up those patterns that have become white noise.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have said that AI is giving us the best average. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's the best average, right? Because sometimes it's probably just the most common, which I guess is the average.
Yeah.
And it's tricky. One thing that I was talking about last night is that you may have outliers that work super well. And when you start to talk about those outliers with your Claude or ChatGPT or whatever account, if you express something and you have your memory turned on, like for example, when ChatGPT RIP got rid of 4.0, I was so upset because I just thought it all like went in the tank after that. And it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do anymore. With the tree of beliefs, we have a very specific process where I'll say, give me a tree of beliefs about blah, blah, blah. And then it gives me this table with all the beliefs. And it's like so easy, so good. And when 4.0 went away, it started really messing it up. And I was like, what is your problem? Use this custom GPT. It's like the first time I ever got really frustrated. And then I realized in my memory, when I asked ChatGPT to tell me what was important to me, following the tree of beliefs pattern was like the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
Which actually really wasn't. It's just that I had gotten very loud about that. And so the problem that I find with using our own AI systems for things like this is that confirmation bias is so high that you're not always getting even the best average. You're getting the best average put through the filter of what AI thinks that you want.
Right. Wow.
Which I think really limits us.
Yeah. Well, and I see what also happens too is that we get a lot of people are getting into these echoing everybody else's stuff. You know, somebody else creates something that works. Suddenly, your feed is full of the exact same kind of stuff. And then there was a moment there a while ago, a few weeks ago, that it was like what I call the Liberace filter. It was like everything was sparkly and everything was like, you know, it was like, what is going on? Everything is suddenly sparkly. That's been AI generated.
That? I'm clicking on the wrong things in my
algorithm. Well, there were people creating
these
these graphics, and they were just like all sparkly and stuff, like for events and for promoting whatever they were promoting. And I'm like, you know, we're kind of going through these trends of AI stuff that is just really creating the same stuff over and over.
Totally. And that doesn't last.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that is stressful potentially for us now is that these tools, the strategies, things are changing so quickly. And because something can work really well for one person, everyone can copy it super quickly.
Yeah.
We burn out faster. And so our pivot capabilities have to be really sharpened, because the same things that worked a month ago don't necessarily work today. And it does create job security for me, because it means that I'm always going to have something to teach about and something to update people on. But if you don't incorporate that into your marketing messaging, you may have a webinar that did super well 2 months ago, and then you try and do it again, but it's missing the current language or the
freshness,
fad or the current trend, and it doesn't perform as well.
Yeah. A phrase that you mentioned is how to create a standout brand in a world of AI zombies. So talk about that for a little bit, because it seems like, you know, when people are following trends, they're using AI to generate AI imagery that everybody else is then creating the same imagery, and it kind of creates this same, you know, online. How do you create a standout brand? Because in that point, you really don't have a brand. You just have an attention grabbing something, but you're not building a brand. You're not building any kind of visual recognition of this is that person. It's kind of like same as everybody else.
Right. And I think it's really about an energetic stamp, an energetic blueprint, which includes visuals, it includes language, it includes what you actually hear, it includes what you actually see, and most importantly, it includes what you feel. And I think most people don't take the time to really dial that in terms of their messaging, in terms of the visuals, like you mentioned. And so we do this process called the spotlight effect, which takes your community, your audience, your potential client, from seeing solutions like this, like a wide range of solutions, and going whoosh, and focusing them, knowing that you are the only solution, which I think can be scary for some people because they feel like they're turning people away. But like we said in the beginning, that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
So you want to create something that has stickiness. And a couple of the ways that we do that. So we use a spotlight effect, which takes you through this giant like workflow, including your unique problems that you solve, your unique solution, your ideal client, getting your like hooks and slogans dialed in. We create an enemy avatar. Do you ever do this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I actually have a seminar that I call creating a super brand. And part of that is who's your nemesis, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So who's yours?
My nemesis is people that are okay with blending in, people that are okay with just being just like everybody else.
Yeah. Do you know Michael Burnoff?
The name sounds super familiar.
Okay. So he has a brand, which I don't wear any of these clothes that he has because I don't know. I'll tell you what it is, but he has a brand called Average Sucks.
Yes.
And he has all this stuff, swag that's like average sucks, right? And I love Michael Burnoff, and I am obsessed. Like my son wears his Decide and Do shirt at least once a week. But this average sucks thing is very polarizing, and I feel like that fits in with your nemesis.
Yeah.
So our enemy avatar is Lambo Larry. And he is like, or Lambo Lucy, we'll use both of them. Yeah. And it's like the guy or the girl that stands by the Lamborghini with the chicks in bikinis and is like the slick, flashing all the dollars. And so when I talk about Lambo Larry, it instantly lets people know I'm a hardcore marketer who is like obsessed with conversions and sales, but I'm going to weave in the human side.
Yeah.
And I also use this like really funny AI video of me as this goddess marketer who's like, just tap into your soul. Like she's our secondary enemy. Yeah. Which I kind of blend those two together into my own weird. Yeah. So by calling out what we're not, it allows people to see what we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I call those people click bros, but that's probably mean.
Totally.
Yeah.
We also create something that's really helpful is to create a glossary of the terms that you actually use.
Yeah.
So if you get clear around your phrases, like weird is wonderful, or we have a whole thing that's like weird wins, your weird is your superpower.
Yeah.
And when I was writing my bio for this Broadway show, I had your weird is your superpower in it. And then my co-producing partner was like, shouldn't it say like your weirdness? I said, no, like the way that we say it is it's your weird. It is your thing. Your weird is a thing.
I love it.
And so being very specific in that. And then if you're building out AI agents, give them that glossary.
Yes.
So we have a voice agent who says like, that's some good shiz, which is because I told her to use those words. So,
I love that. Yeah. Well, and that's part of, even with building a super brand is, most heroes have a catchphrase, and developing those. And my nemesis catchphrase is it'll do. When I hear that from a client, when I hear that from somebody and they say it'll do, I'm like, no, it'll wow. It shouldn't be it'll do. It should be it'll wow. And that's kind of
okay. Can I tell you my least favorite word, which is very similar to that?
Go for it.
Sure. I hate the word sure.
Oh.
When I'm like, would you like me to blah blah blah, and they're like, sure. Like, no. You either want it or you don't. There is no sure. Sure is like, meh, I don't want that. Yeah. Like, it'll do. I totally agree. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And I think, so I love where you're going with that, especially as we tie it both to brand and AI, which a lot of people don't always do because they feel like, branding is one thing, what AI does is maybe something totally different. But I love the way you tie it in, especially with talking about, your catchphrases, working that into what AI is generating, and also understanding even what your nemesis catchphrases are and what you're opposed to, and letting people know that. And so what are some other ways to avoid becoming an AI zombie?
Yeah. So we have this strategy called the quesadilla of awesome. Have you heard of this?
No, but I love it already.
Okay. So will you do it with me?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So you're going to rub your hands together like this.
Okay.
So you're rubbing your hands together.
Yes.
Then you're going to make a ball with your hands. Boop. Okay. So now inside this ball, you're going to place all of the benefits that you provide in your business. So the branding, the business growth, all of that. You put that in the ball. You got it in there?
Yep.
Okay. Now on the count of 3, we're going to throw it in the air. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now, have you seen the movie Willy Wonka? Original?
The original and the new one, yes.
All of our benefits are floating above us, like Mikey TV when he's going into the Wonka vision. Okay? So they're all up there. And what are you left with?
Who you are, yourself.
Yeah, you're left with you, which is both the most awesome and the most terrifying thing to be left with. And it's the piece that most people skip. So what we do is we make a list of 20 things that make you a uniquely awesome human being. We call this your quesadilla of awesome because everyone has something that makes you uniquely awesome, even if it's just that you make an amazing quesadilla.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
And sometimes when I'm speaking to people who are not from California, or from Mexico or whatever, they don't know what a quesadilla is. So just in case, the quesadilla is 2 tortillas with cheese in the middle, but you can put whatever you want in the middle of the quesadilla. Like I like to put big jam in my quesadillas.
Interesting.
Okay. So this list is, I have a little acronym. It's the word SAAVE. It has 5 letters. You may think SAAVE has 4, but I can't spell. So in order to get over that, I spell my acronyms wrong. So it's SAAVE, which is your skill sets, the things that you're naturally gifted at, separate from your business, your appearance. And this is something that establishes who you are when you walk in the room. So I almost always wear sparkle pants when I speak on stage. Clearly I have a sparkly microphone to like help, my Liberace method in person. Okay. So your appearance. And it's not about what other people think about how you look. It's what you think about how you look, how you feel on camera. So how you feel when you walk into a room, because those gremlins get back at you, right? In your own head. So your appearance, your activities, separate from your business, which creates a sticky brand.
Right.
Dancing is part of my activities, which has nothing to do with business, but by calling it Dancing with Jarvis, it makes it unique and different.
Love it.
Right? So activities. And it also gives you so much content to be able to post if you're not just only posting about business stuff or whatever it is. If you're a health coach, like only posting about health.
Yeah.
Then the V is your values, and that both attracts and detracts people.
Right.
So I sign every email, #speak your kind, #stand for joy.
Yes.
And we stand for joy as a fierce form of activism, which oddly makes some people mad. And that's okay. They don't
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Like crazy.
That's crazy.
And then the final thing is the E is for things you like to eat. And so if you can find polarizing food and talk about it, it is wild. So if you go to your personal Facebook profile and you post these 5 words, even if you haven't posted on Facebook in a long time, it will unlock the algorithm. The 5 words are Brussels sprouts, yes or no.
I'm going to post that today. I'll post that on the day that I share this. I'll post it on the day that I share this.
I don't know if I have, hold on one second. The side effect, is this the right, this isn't the right one. Hold on, I see it. Okay. 4 people have sent me in the mail this same dish towel that says, every day I'm Brussels.
For Brussels sprouts.
Like, what? But because I talk about Brussels sprouts as a part of my strategy, everyone knows that like when they see Brussels sprouts, they take a picture and they send it to me. Like I get Brussels sprout recipes all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Because I've woven that into my strategy, which is how you create a sticky, unique brand.
Man, I love that. Oh man, if you're listening to this or watching this, you need to go back, write each one of those down, because that is a head smack moment for some those terms. I think John Acuff talks about queso, and he like gets people constantly talking about queso. He's a fan of good queso. I think it's queso. Maybe it's guacamole.
That is a good one.
Yeah. And so people are constantly like sending him recipes and sending him stuff to do with queso. Absolutely love that. I love the stuff about
that ties into that unaware, right? It's like that unaware piece, just to bring this back to the beginning, but it creates that common space there. And then once you have this list of all the things that make you awesome, there's a final little piece that we do. So if you take your fingers like this and put your fingers up, like all 10 fingers up, then you're going to turn them and tap them on your chest. So just like tapping on your chest. Then you're going to roll your shoulders. Okay, you've got this list. You're going to roll your shoulders. Then you're going to hum like, okay? And then you bounce like this. Okay? And this is what I call the money dance.
The money dance.
And so you do that before you get on camera. You do that before you start using AI. You do that before a sales call, before a coaching session, before you step on stage. And magically, you are filled with your own sense of awesome.
Love it. Love it.
It's so good.
That is so good. Well, and I like what you said, even about your attire and how you dress. One of the things that I usually post on Halloween is, if nobody can dress like you for Halloween, you don't have a strong visual brand when it comes to how you dress.
I love that.
You know, because if you look at a lot of people, they have a strong visual brand that if you wanted to dress like them for Halloween, you could very easily. But not everybody does.
It's so good. So when we were talking about trolls earlier, I almost mentioned this and I thought like, let's move on from the trolls. But I had a troll comment on YouTube that said, you talk too much. It's annoying. Or no, you talk too much. That's how you make money. And it's annoying. And so this was right around Halloween. And remember a couple years ago when that spirit costume meme was going around?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so this is
spirit
like perfect for
Halloween.
what you just said.
Yeah.
And my team was like, oh, let's make a social media manager version of this and have it be you. And I was like, that's not funny. So we took the troll comment and I went to my husband and I said, hey, if we were to turn this comment into a costume of me, what would the costume be? And my husband was like, oh, you're a Chatty Moneybags marketing coach. So we made the Chatty Moneybags marketing coach costume, and it included a banana phone. It included 200 talks too much templates, 20 pairs of sparkle pants. And then at the bottom it said, oh, it included a bag of Brussels sprouts and then an extra bucket of possibility. And then at the very bottom it said, not included, car keys. She can't find them.
Oh my God. I love it. That is
My
awesome.
husband made me include. And some of these things were things that maybe I would feel shame around. And so I could take that comment and feel like, oh no, people think I talk too much. People think I'm being salesy. Or I could just wear it as a badge of honor and be like, yep, that's me.
Right.
And so that costume thing, that post ended up getting like 450 likes. So
Wow.
I think that is such a good tip. It's like one of my favorite things. I love it.
Absolutely love it. Now, one of the things that seems to be a casualty of AI and the desire for attention is the brand building. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. Like, I don't see a lot of people building a brand. They're just building things for attention. Do you see that as part of the casualty? Or are you seeing something opposite? Of course, we have separate feeds. We have people that we follow and shows up on our algorithm.
I think it is a casualty, and it's also the biggest opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it's the thing that we need to pay attention to more often than not, which is why I call it AI zombies. So there's this GIF that I use. I don't know who created it, but I use it almost every time I speak. And it's a zombie. And he's saying, you're boring me to death. I'm already dead. You're boring me back to death.
Oh, I love it.
And I think the only thing that's like they talk about this concept of creating a moat, right? So it's like what protects your castle. And I firmly believe that the thing that we have as the most important, valuable moat is our personal brand.
Yes.
It is our humanity. It is our ability to connect with other people. And while a lot of the AI like trick type videos worked in the beginning, they don't last.
Right.
And so the thing that truly lasts is that personal brand, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I think, some people forget that cheap and easy are usually temporary. And, but building a brand, that takes time, it takes commitment. Building a personal brand around all of those things that, Molly has shared is so vital for the future. And I think that's what is going to be the distinguishing thing from everybody that's looking the same because they're using the same toolbox is you just building that personal brand with that SAAVE system and several of the other things that Molly has shared is just building something that's more human than what AI can ever generate.
And don't skip out on, I think, the most important thing that people, like the biggest casualty of this for a lot of business owners, because they see how easy it is to whip up a sales page or whip up a course or whatever. And it's addicting because it gives you this dopamine hit. I have to constantly remind my clients, we are here for 2 reasons. You are in this program for 2 reasons. Not to do cool things with AI, even though that is like the hook of my programs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The real thing that we're here to do is to get clients and keep clients.
Yeah.
And I have to keep coming back. Like, is this going to help you get clients or keep clients? And with all of the cool things we can do with AI, I still believe there is one thing that works better than any of it, which is talk to humans.
Yes, yes, yes.
And recently it was proven to be like so true. I don't know if you saw, did you see what summit I'm doing later this month?
I have, and I want you to talk about it.
I don't really like doing summits, to be totally honest. I kind of hate them. But this one I'm very excited about because it's different. I'm speaking at Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's event later this month.
Yes, that is so
like
awesome.
Bananas to me. And when they reached out, I had a call with Dean and he said, I interviewed all these people, but what I found was a lot of them are so smart, but they don't know how to talk to our people. And he said, you came as a recommendation. He was so kind. He said, you came as a recommendation from this person. And I went and I watched all of your content. And I think you're perfect for this.
Wow.
And I don't have crazy viral content anymore. Like that one video that went viral, right? I focus on smaller, very specific things. But if you are putting out content that speaks to your ideal client, that shows your value, that shows your humanity, and you are connecting with human beings, that's where magic happens.
Yeah. Well, and I think, part of Headsmack I came up with the word 30 years ago, and it's a brainstorming a methodology. It's 9 letters, and each one of those is kind of a catalyst to help you think creatively, even if you're not creative. But the first one is humanize. And it's amazing how, 30 years ago when I came up with it, it wasn't as relevant as I feel it is right now. I think humanizing is where is going to be kind of I haven't used this term before out loud, but is the punk rock of the future. It's the thing that's going to set you separate you from everybody else, is when you reincorporate the human element, when everybody's going AI and automations and all of that stuff, which is all wonderful, which is all amazing. But when you can find a way to add the human element, I think and your personality, your personal brand, and all the things that you've shared, I think that's what's also going to be the separator for a lot of people that are going to succeed in the future.
I do think it's like a really cool gift for both of us in that regard, because in 2021, I spoke at TNC at Traffic and Conversion about humanizing your brand. And I think it was a little too early.
Yeah.
And it was well received, but I think that people didn't realize how deeply important it was going to be. And even if you go back, like the case study of Awesome, I was teaching when I was teaching singing lessons, right? Like when you walk into a musical theater audition, if all you're trying to do is impress them with this song, like, no way. You've got to figure out who you are as a person. Stanislavski, do you know who that is? Konstantin Stanislavski?
No. Oh, yes. Yes.
He's like the god of theater. So he's like, if you want to be Meryl Streep, you follow Stanislavski's teachings.
Yeah.
And he has this giant chart on how to be a really good actor. And the first thing on the bottom, there's all these pieces. On the bottom, it says work on oneself.
Wow.
Which is like what we have to do if we want to humanize something. And I think AI really allows us to use it as a Trojan horse. That we can tell people, you're going to really, get clear on your personal brand. We're going to tell people you're going to AIify your business. We can tell them all these things that they want, but underneath it, really, we're tricking them into realizing, hey, my sister-in-law said this to me once. She came up to me at a party and she said, are you trying to make me a better human? I was like, what? She was a kindergarten teacher. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't comment on them, but I watch your videos. And I think you're trying to make me a better human, which I was doing like marketing videos. But underneath it all, I'm so in agreement with you on that it's really like, that's the core.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting more and more aware of the fact that that's really what they need, which can be scary.
Yeah, I think so. And I think with every new technology, with every new thing that comes out, you have this moment of kind of stretching in one direction, and away from where things used to be, but then it kind of bounces back like a big rubber band and kind of finds its center again. And I still think we're still in the stretching part of AI. I still think we're taking us to its limits with what's available now, and we're doing all these cool things. But I think there will be a time when it kind of bounces back and we forget that people like people.
Perfect example of that. I had dinner with a friend last night who does really high level finance stuff where they have to go, it's like massive security. So she was saying that like a lot of the stuff they do, they can't use just regular AI systems because they're dealing with social security numbers and all kinds of things. And she said that there's people who were contractors of theirs who have lost work because they fired most of their human teams and replaced it with AI. And for some of these approval, it was taking too long for the AI to do it.
Oh, wow.
For some of these approvals that had to go through. And the companies that kept their humans on the team who could actually respond as a human being in a nuanced way, the AI was taking too long and they would go to the team that actually had the humans and the humans would get the job.
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of a springback because a lot of businesses are going in too soon into AI and not realizing the repercussions down the road.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've talked with others about when it comes to AI is, we're replacing the lower level people or the entry level people with AI, and then the senior people are kind of overseeing the AI. But the problem is when those senior people retire, they leave or whatever, like who's going to be
Oh,
talking to the
totally.
AI? And because they haven't been trained up, they haven't kind of gone through the ranks, they haven't
That
gone through
is
the
something I've never
experience.
thought of. We've had a lot of our people, so like VAs and graphic designers, we're really moving them into more of an AI operator role, which has been cool because it's like our graphic designer who's been on our team forever. He messaged me and he said, I think AI is going to put me out of a job. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're the most valuable person I know. So he redid my whole entire website, and he started as a graphic designer, but he made this gorgeous website, I think, with AI,
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, if you don't give the people an opportunity to grow and develop instinct and intuition and taste and whatever, then you lose a tier of people because you've fired all the people that would start at the bottom and work their way up. And so I think that is kind of I think that's where the bounce back of that stretching in one direction, I think, is going to be a recentering of realizing, oh wow, if we want the next mid management and upper management, we've got to train them up from a certain spot.
Somewhere.
But we've fired them all. We're using AI for that, and those people
Yeah.
are retiring. They're moving on. They're whatever, and so we're losing a lot in that. So what's got you excited about AI right now?
Man, I really love everything that Claude has been doing lately. I'm like very obsessed with Perplexity Computer, which I keep thinking maybe I'm going to let it go because I have so many freaking $200 a month subscriptions.
Yeah.
It's like so insane. But I mean, yeah, what I've really been doing with Claude is not getting it to make me something. I'm getting it to make me something that makes something.
Oh, wow. Okay. So tell me, what does that mean?
So like I was moving, so we have 154 GPTs that we give to our clients, which is
wow,
a lot. And so those GPTs, I had Claude move them into skills. So now I've started filling my whole Claude account with all these skills. But I realized rather than creating a skill for my clients that they need to go back and customize, I'm going to make one skill that creates 5 skills that are all customized.
Wow.
So we just released this starter pack of skills that, and if you don't know, I'm assuming you do, but if people don't know what skills are, it's basically a file that trains your AI tools on a specific system or workflow. And so the thing that's really cool about them is you don't have to like activate it like you do a GPT. You don't have to bring it into the chat. You have to just mention, like, as long as it knows that's the solution to it, it'll pull from that skill and it'll like weave them together. So I'm just very excited about being able to literally install custom solutions for people into their business. And we're building these things in a very agnostic way. So I know Claude had a big bump up with people in our space because ChatGPT was disappointing us. I know GenSpark is going to come up, or whatever, Magi or ChatGPT or Perplexity. Like that's always changing. So we're really building things in a way that they're agnostic and you can use them in whatever platform you want.
Yeah.
I'm still obsessed with vibe coding and like the things you can do with it. We've made tools that are creating videos and images, and we're white labeling those tools. I think is awesome because now people don't even have to build. They can just take the tool that I've built and then customize it and then sell it. Someone sold $15,000 worth of software before she even had the white labeled app because I told her, like, yeah, if you buy it, this is the rate for it. Yeah. She's like, great. And then she messaged me like, can I buy this stuff now? And I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be ready on Monday. And she said, well, I already sold $15,000 worth of it. So whenever you're ready, like, I'm ready.
Wow. It is an amazing opportunity for people. AI really is a fun frontier. There's excitement, there's danger, there's, with any kind of a frontier, there's the people that are going and mining the gold and making their money from the gold. But there's also the people that provide the picks and the shovels and all of that. And so there's all kinds of opportunities within the space.
Yeah.
And, I definitely, I can't believe it's already been over an hour. And so I do want to give you time to share how people can be a part of your world and get a hold of you and follow you. So do you mind sharing some of that?
Sure. And this is actually really interesting because I wasn't fully planning on going so deep into this, but when we were talking about the ideal client and how important that is with the tickle points and all of that, we actually have a tool that creates a really deep, juicy ideal client for you. And so you can get that tool if you go to molly.live, MOLLY.live/Headsmack.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you so much. And so what are some other channels that they can find you active on?
So I live on my personal Facebook profile, which is Molly Mahoney. It's me in there. There's no other team members in there. And Instagram, Molly Mahoney Official, mollymahoney.com is my website. My YouTube is The Prepared Performer, which is still my OG brand. You can still find singing lessons on there
if you scroll
no
far
tap
enough.
dancing, though. We removed the tap dancing.
Well, Molly, this has been an amazing conversation. So much fun, so much value. If you're listening to this, I suggest you also go on YouTube and enjoy it a second time because visually it's been a lot of fun as well. You get to see all the different bananas as well. But this has been so wonderful, and I appreciate you coming on. And I look forward to just following your adventures as you keep standing out and making a difference and impacting lives.
Thank you. And I just want to say also, you really live what you preach, because for those of you who have ever been on a podcast before, usually you just get a Zoom link or a Riverside link to join. But you had this gorgeous page with all of these instructions, and it was very on brand. So
well, thank you
for practicing what you preach.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
You are listening to Conversations with Misfits, Mavericks, and Trailblazers.